And hello, HR professionals. Thank you for joining us for our last video of the day, sadly. But I know that you all are getting ready to go home and you're probably not really interested in too many more videos this afternoon. But this one is very special because I have with me Sarah Rodehorst, CEO and co-founder of Onwards HR. And this is a separations platform, compliance platform.
Yep, separations compliance.
And those of you who are subscribers to our magazine, she has written several articles in the magazine, and the one in the August issue is called OWVPA, Severance Agreements for Older Workers. So you definitely want to read this. And so tell us, Sarah, a little bit more in depth about what Onwards HR does and why do HR professionals need your help?
Yes, I'd be happy to. But first, thank you so much, Cynthia, for having me today on the program. This is fun to see you in person versus on the phone.
That's right.
But no, Onwards HR is a separations compliance platform that streamlines the separation process in compliance with corporate policy and employment laws.
And it's so painful when we have to let people go.
It really is.
And you hate to think that you're going to do something that's wrong and end up in a lawsuit or unhappy. You know, we want our people to be happy when they leave us. I mean, not happy, but not mad. Not to understand why it happened and to be in compliance. And make sure we do things right.
Yeah, well, I mean, the reality is separations, they happen all the time. You know, we wish they didn't, but they do. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, in fact, half of the workforce leaves their jobs every year.
Half?
Half.
No, I didn't know it was that much.
Half. And that's not in COVID years or anything. That's kind of just status quo.
Yeah.
1 in 10 employees are asked to leave by their employer.
1 in 10.
1 in 10. And you know, the upside of it all, in 1 in 20 are ultimately rehired.
I did not know that.
Yeah,
Great
so
statistics.
it's very good. That's according to LinkedIn. But it's really important, you know, the separations, they happen all the time, in the good times and bad. And it's so important to do it well and do it right so that people do want to come back.
Yeah.
You know, building out that alumni network, because even if they don't come back as a rehire, they're going out into your ecosystem. You know, they're going to go to a partner or a customer, and they're going to carry their opinion of that company forward, and you want to make sure it's a positive one.
Oh, absolutely. So exactly how do you help HR professionals?
So we have a couple of different products, but we really got our start helping organizations with layoffs. It really in a group scenario.
Mass layoffs.
But it could be a reduction in force. Reduction in force, whether it is a single role or in a group situation. And the reason that our first customer came to us is because it is so hard. There are so many rules and regulations that organizations need to follow to make sure that they comply with the laws that are out there. And a lot of times organizations don't have the tools necessary or even the know-how necessary to be able to manage a reduction in force in compliance. And so then there's fear. There's all this fear because a mistake as part of a separation process isn't just an undo, right?
And we've all heard horror stories about
I mean,
putting
the
an extra zero in.
I know. Headlines are filled with all of these mistakes, and when you make a mistake as part of a separation, you're talking lawsuits, you're talking penalties, you're talking headlines, tarnished reputations. I mean, the impact is huge. And so a lot of times organizations will
it's also putting the HR professional's job in jeopardy.
Well, yes.
Because you're supposed to know these things, know how to handle this.
And that's the thing is, and there's not a lot of resources to train to help those HR professionals. And in the reduction in force or a layoff situation, a lot of times it's on top of the day job. Like it's like, oh, I have to, you know, recruit and manage and the talents and skills and train. and support my employees. And oh, by the way, we have this event going on. Can you take care of that too? And so it ends up becoming this pressure cooker because, you know, they want to do well in their jobs, but they're not equipped with the right tools. So that's where we come into play. We're a software platform. And our platform offers some guidance as part of it where we help organizations standardize their process. The tool, ultimately, the software is a giant rules engine that helps them calculate severance as well as generate all of the separation agreements.
That's where we make the mistakes.
That's where the mistakes happen, is because one thing's for certain is there's always 5 hours, 6 hours, maybe a day before employees are notified, they change the severance policy. Right? And so next thing you know, they're changing in the spreadsheet, they're trying to rerun everything, and time again, our customers have come to us and said, oh wait, look at these calculations, I did it, and your tool says one thing and our spreadsheet says another thing, and we say, okay, well let's look at the spreadsheet, and then we find that they didn't copy and paste the new calculation to every single role.
Copy and paste, it seems like we get in trouble, don't we?
Exactly. And so they've always followed the calculations that we provide, and then we help them with the separation agreement too. And it's all database. So we connect in with their HCM platform so that they really take the profile of that individual against those algorithms, and then they get the calculation and the agreement that qualifies for them. And just given to the article that we wrote about, which it's the OWBPA, we say OBIPA for short,
of course.
But it's for older workers. And one of the things that's challenging with separations is that when there are 2 or more employees that are 40 years or older, there are different requirements required in the severance agreements. And we help organizations comply and apply those requirements, as well as disclose. There's a OBIPA disclosure required as part of those, and we will generate those for our customers.
That's great.
So,
wow. Well, I know you guys are going to need her services because always there's someone you're going to have to lay off. There's someone that you're going to have to calculate these layoff amounts and the compliance is the scary part.
It is.
Because the repercussions can be serious and costly.
Yes.
And you can save them money.
We can help them.
Yeah, with that, because a mistake is hard to recover from. Besides your reputation as an HR professional. Well, that's it.
And then the other area is really preventing bias as well. And we also run adverse impact analysis off of the individual. To compare the considered population versus the impacted population, just to make sure there's no protected populations that are that bias has taken place. So
good.
We just help keep our organizations so that they are treating people fairly and in compliance and with compassion.
Wonderful. And how can they reach you?
So they can reach me on LinkedIn, Sarah Rodehorst, and the company is called Onwards HR. They could also reach us on our website, onwardshr.com. And feel free to email me as well, sarah@onwardshr.com.
Wonderful. Well, I know you guys needed all this information. If you haven't yet needed it, you certainly will. And the economy plays a big part in all of this as well. And I just saw on LinkedIn where Tyson's is laying off 4,000 people this week or something.
Oh, it breaks my heart.
I know. Sadly, it happens. So you need to get in touch with Sarah and learn about what they do, because sooner or later you're going to need her.
Yeah.
So thanks for your time.
Well, thank you so much for having me today.
And thanks to all of you for watching our videos today. If you have any questions, be sure and email us. And it's not over. We have 2 more days, so be sure and tune in tomorrow. But that's it for today. Thanks, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.
We went 9 minutes, and that was...